Chinese Calligraphy Zero to Hero. From blank paper to bold strokes, today we master two ways to write the vertical line, the backbone of Chinese characters. But first, ever wondered why a 1,400-year-old manuscript still rules calligraphy lessons? In the story time, I will tell you why I swear by Master Yong's 1,000-character classic, the secret to turning shaky lines into strength. Master Yong will tell us, hanging needle vertical. Start. Press down firmly at the top. Immediately pivot to move straight downward. Move. Lift slightly to thin the stroke gradually. Keep it subtle. Continue straight down with controlled speed. And lift the brush smoothly while moving down. Exit with a sharp, needle-like point at the tip. Key tips. Rhythm: press start. Lift thin slightly, lift to point end. Avoid. Don't bend the stroke. Keep it perfectly vertical. Never overlift. Thinning should be gentle, like a sharpened pencil tip. Visual: imagine a hanging needle. Solid top, subtle taper, sharp exit. Practice drill. Draw parallel vertical lines first to master straightness. Focus on exiting sharply, like flicking the tip off the page. Pro tip: speed matters. Too slow equals blobby tip. Too fast equals shaky line. Find a smooth, confident pace. Chi means vehicle. Sheng means rise. Jiang means scarf. Story time. Why do I hold Master Yong's calligraphy in such high regard? Let's take a look at the life of Master Yong together. On a rainy night 1,000 years later, an ancient copy of 1,000-character classic suddenly came alive. As ink seeped across the paper, I heard the wind of the southern dynasties. That wind carried the stench of war, the sighs of fallen noble families, and the lifelong obsession guarded by a single brush. This obsession hides in the mourning bells of Yongsan Temple, in the ink of 800 copies of 1,000-character classic, and most of all, in a monk's choice. I was born in the chaos of the Song and Qi dynasties. The ink fragrance of the Wang clan, once mighty, couldn't stand against the dust of galloping hooves. Calligraphy by my ancestor Wang Zizhai was eaten by insects. Noble mansions turned to ashes. That was my earliest memory. Back then, I always wondered, is there anything eternal in this world? War can burn down pavilions, but what can it never destroy? The answer lay in the temple's morning bells. Weak as a child, my mother took me to pray. I saw monks with ink-stained robes and characters on sutras that seemed alive. So stillness can resist chaos, and enlightenment can calm the soul. In my family study, ancient calligraphy and Buddhist scriptures lay side by side. I touched the calligraphy with my left hand, held the sutra with my right. Light and shadow split the frame, darkness on one side, light on the other. Yongsan Temple, once my ancestors' home, turned into a pure land. When I stepped through its gates after shaving my head, robed as a monk, I became Zhiyang, taking Buddha as home and the brush as my calling. They said I was escaping the world, but I knew this was not escape. It was another kind of perseverance. At dawn's bell, I copied scripts. At dusk's drum, I still stood by the inkstone. My ancestors' brushwork hides in the ink. waiting to be understood by a heart that spends 10, 20 years seeking it. Calligraphy isn't just skill, it's the soul's reflection. A restless heart makes shaky strokes. A sincere heart brings ink to life. Every brush stroke is cultivation. In the temple yard, worn brushes piled like a hill, then buried. They called it the mound of retired brushes. I called it the reincarnation of ink. Brushes wear out, but ink lives on. I wrote 800 copies of 1,000-character classic, gifting them to temples across the South. Not for fame, but so future generations might feel the warmth of cultural heritage even in chaos. Someone asked, "Master, writing all day, is that cultivation?" I answered, "Lifting the brush without distraction, setting ink with compassion. This is my Buddhist practice." Chaos still raged beyond the temple, but the paper on my desk and the brush in my hand gave me the courage to stand against impermanence. That year, heavy rains destroyed half the mountain. Floods rushed toward Yongsan Temple, threatening the scripture vault, where the last Wang clan calligraphy and 1,000-character classic manuscripts were kept. I had no sandbags, only a brush. So I wrote to the flood, heaven and earth black and yellow, universe vast and wild, writing the characters passed down by my ancestors. Suddenly, the ink characters came alive. Heaven blocked the rain, earth held back the flood. Characters from 800 copies of 1,000-character classic flew from the temple, weaving a net of light overhead. The flood detoured around the temple, following streams guided by the light net. Among the glowing characters, heritage shone brightest. After the rain, I stood by the ink pool. Its waters reflected the fading light net. I cupped water in my hands, and a tiny eternity character formed in the droplets. By morning light, I placed the 1,000-character classic in the vault. Its cover glowed faintly. Outside, the rising sun broke through clouds, shining on the mound of retired brushes. On that rainy night 1,000 years later, I finally understood the ink's message. It wasn't a dream, it was an invitation to take up that brush. Grass on the brush mound dies and grows. 1,000-character classic copies are replaced, but the 8 principles of Yong, spirit, and ink as practice, heart never change. This is Master Zhiyang's answer. In chaos, the strongest backbone is cultural heritage. Through time, the longest light is perseverance. As long as ink fragrance lingers, heritage lives forever. Top-pointed vertical. Start. Lightly touch the paper, immediately press down as you move straight down. No initial press. Start with a hair-thin tip. Move. Gradually increase pressure. Keep the brush perfectly vertical. Thicken strokes smoothly toward the base. And press firmly at the bottom. Lift vertically for a blunt square end. No hook or point. Key tips. Rhythm, light touch. Start, press steadily, move, firm, stop, end. Avoid. Never press at the start. This kills the pointed top. Don't curve. Keep the stroke straight as an arrow. Visual, imagine an inverted raindrop. Sharp top, thick base. Practice drill. Draw exclamation point shapes. Focus on starting with zero pressure, thickening downward. Trace sword tips to master the sharp to blunt transition. Pro tip. Start the stroke midair. Glide the brush onto the paper while moving down to keep the tip ultra sharp. Zhai means stop. Chuan means river. Tong means Polonia. Okay, this is our lesson for today. Let's learn step by step. There's no need to be in a hurry. Remember that what you really need is your own practice. There is no shortcut in calligraphy. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the comment section. I will reply to you. Thank you. Now is the show time. Have you successfully created your own calligraphy space? Every calligrapher needs one. Visit my website and you will be pleasantly surprised.